Right, welcome everybody to those that have joined. I'm just seeing people are still coming in, so I'll just wait a second just to make sure catch everybody. All right, let's go. We've only got a little bit of time with you today, but we wanted to share some information about our learning, teaching and assessment network. I'm Emily. I work at the University of Sussex and I work on this network with Alex and Nemrata. Alex, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Emily. Hi, everyone. My name's Alex Owen. I work at Ulster University as Dean of Learning Enhancement. As Emily says, we work closely together in terms of leading this network with Namrata. Thanks, Emily.
Namrata's not on the call yet, but I'm sure she will be, and she might want to introduce herself in a moment. Anyway, we've only got a few slides, and we just want to share just give you some information on what we've done and what we're about, and also, most importantly, how you can get involved. And then we'll pause if you've got any kind of questions or reflections, or more importantly, and helpfully, ideas for us. The purpose of the networks are spaces to work together, to share, to highlight issues, trends and debates in different areas of higher education studies. And our area relates specifically to learning, teaching and assessment. Although, of course, there's lots of overlap with questions of access, with the student identities, with ones about learning spaces, the digital, these always kind of overlap. So we don't only talk about these things in a narrow way. What do we do? Well, our core role, if you like, is to put on events throughout the year. So we're tasked with creating at least 3 events that we host throughout the year. And Alex, Namrata and I work together as a group and think about what kind of events do we think people would like to come to? What issues are topical or emergent? Or have we read like fabulous papers on things that we think we'd like to hear more about? So that's what we do. And we've tried to host those events in a variety of ways, either online or in person. As well as that, one of our roles is the conference stream around learning and teaching and assessment. We support with the reading of some of the abstracts to ensure that they have that kind of fit in relation to those themes, which is also one of the ways we find out about really interesting work happening. And I suppose the final role of the networks, or its goal, is to foster a community. And that's something we'd really like to work on how we do that better, because it's a network, but in some ways we could do more to kind of create that sense where you can come to us as much as we send things outwards. This is us. We've introduced ourselves a bit, but hopefully we'll make the slides available so you can find our email addresses and you can get in touch to find if you have ideas, which we're going to come to in a moment.
Emily, Namrat has joined the call now. I don't know if you can see her, so she might want to use herself.
Yeah, go for it. And Namrata, hiya.
Hi, sorry. I just got sort of hooked up on the wrong link. I think
my fault, I know. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. So I'm just catching important things, Emily. Are we at the point where we are talking about the form to promote some of the activity?
Not yet. Just introduce yourself,
okay,
and then we can come to that bit in a minute.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody, and sorry for the slight delay. I'm also one of the conveners along with Alex and Emily. We are looking to sort of position learning, teaching and assessment with the support of SRHE. We've had some really exciting events that Emily has spoken to you about, and we are just looking for further collaboration with those who are interested in learning, teaching and assessment to sort of promote your work and to sort of add to the dialogue on learning, teaching and assessment across the sector. So thank you.
Thanks, Namrata. So these are some of the events we've held in the last academic year. We hosted an event on leadership in learning and teaching, one on the ever topical issue of artificial intelligence and the impact on learning, teaching and assessment, which had contributors from research and practice, which I think was really, really helpful. And then we had an in-person event looking at academic freedom and what that might create or make possible or produce a tension in terms of teaching. These are the events that we've got so far, and you don't need to note them down because You'll be able to find details of them all once they're all finalised, if you like, on the website. So the first one is about the value of conversations and dialogue. The second one is about academic and student identities. And then the final one is around learning and teaching in times of crises. So these are in development at the moment. The dates will say the same, but we're kind of forming the programme. So that's why you might not know have the details just as yet, but they will follow. So if you're interested in these topics, take a note of the dates. They will stay the same, and the titles, but we're just forming our kind of presenters, because it's really important for us that when we present these as workshops, particularly because they're online, we have a range of speakers and often people are coming from different time zones. So we're just behind the scenes, we're getting these ready. So there'll be really interesting events for you. Future events, I suppose these are the themes that we're thinking about, but you might have other ideas, and I'm sure you do that are better than ours. But thinking about, yeah, what's the role of learning and teaching in the future? Thinking about decolonised, democratised and digitised futures, drawing on the themes of the conference. And then something which we're going to pick up on in the identities event is who are higher education's idealised learners, and what possibilities are produced through relations, pedagogies and assessments. And then thinking about the role of theory to interrupt and explore particular trends, discourses and ideas within learning, teaching and assessment. Anyway, this was the next bit. Was almost if you'd like to propose something. We're going to shortly share this on our website, and if you have ideas about what an event might look like, please do come to us. And it could be, for example, as you're forming a bid or something, you're thinking in your head, oh, this will be a good space. And obviously we can't guarantee everything, but we're working for you as a network. So we'd really like to work together to do things. And we start off with our kind of abstract, a range of speakers, and forming kind of biographies of people. And we feel like it's really helpful, although not essential, that colleagues have published in these areas, but that publishing could take diverse forms. Was there anything, Alex or Namrata, you wanted to say about that before I move on to the form?
Yeah. So what would really be helpful, and Emily, you've sort of outlined that, is to sort of have a complete program that you're thinking of. And then obviously, Emily, Alex, and I would have our own networks because of being the conveners, where we might come up with some suggestions of speakers who might be well positioned to add to your program. So it'll be very much a dialogue, but the form would be a starting point where we would very much like a full-fleshed idea so that we can progress things in a direction which is desirable, so to say. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So if that idea might be, so normally that takes the form of a couple of speakers or a few speakers around a theme. And if it's an online session, it's normally between 2 and 3 hours. There's also the possibility of in-person sessions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Namrata, did you want to talk about this form?
Yeah, so these are just sort of very initial ideas, and we are very much in the draft stage, and we are sort of yet to sort of discuss this with SRHE as to how this might fit with their work. But we are thinking of, obviously, as a network, we have been promoting events, and we are looking to sort of position your work through that proposal form that Emily has just shared with you. But we're also looking at ways we can sort of support you. So you know that SRHE has their own sort of newsletter, and you would have regularly received that. We were thinking of, in conversation with SRHE, to sort of develop a little learning, teaching and assessment network corner, so to say, where we highlight some of the good work that is happening across the sector, not only in the UK, but internationally around learning, teaching and assessment. So we've created a form, and once we've sort of finalized and agreed this with SRHE, we would like to capture some of the things that you're doing. And I'll just share just a very initial draft of this form as Emily, I, and Alex have been thinking about it. So if you go on to the link here, so what we are sort of suggesting is that you just give us your name, your email address, and anything learning, teaching, and assessment that you might be doing, be it an event that you're running, a publication, or some sort of a journal article that you might have published, and you just want to give us an abstract. We will then sort of work a little bit in sort of polishing and editing it, just to give give opportunity to to those who might be relatively new to this kind of informal writing, and then sort of use the current avenues that SRHE already has to promote some of the work of those who might be working in the area of learning, teaching, and assessment as appropriate. So that's just an initial idea of some of the things. So it's hopefully not very onerous. And once we're ready with it, we'll put it on our web page for our network and hopefully promote it in various ways through the SRHE comms. So that's just another idea of sort of serving the community who's working within learning, teaching, and assessment in higher education. And as suggested, we're looking for hopefully through this capture some of the work that is happening internationally, and hoping that this would not be very onerous in trying to position your work, your events, or whatever that might be, and maybe use it as a space for dialogue as we progress with our plans. So yeah, so this is just one of the other ideas that we are thinking about, but we are happy to obviously, Alex, you might want to sort of add in here, but we're looking for more ideas we can sort of serve you as a community.
Great.
Yeah, I think that, thank you, Namrata. Sorry, Alex, that was it in terms of our slides anyway. So let me stop sharing, and then Alex, is there anything you wanted to say? And then we'll see whether anybody else in the room wants to ask us anything.
Great. No, nothing else from me, just to echo my colleagues' words there, that we really do want this to be a collaborative space. So any ideas that you have are great ideas, and we'd want to explore those with you. So we're just trying to find mechanisms for kind of fostering that dialogue, whether it's through the form or through our email addresses or whatever it is. We really do want to hear from you, because we want this network to really serve you, as both Emily and Namrata have said.
Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes. If people do have any questions or thoughts or reflections, please just do type in the chat or put your hands up or engage in the ways that you have been already this morning.
Maybe a starting point for a question to just fill up the silence. This is my teacher instinct sort of jumping in here. We've proposed 3 topics that we are thinking about this year, that we sort of have some organized events around, and all of these are online. We've tried to run a face-to-face event last year, though it was really valuable. The attendance was slightly limited. And maybe sort of what might be the things which would make a face-to-face session more worthwhile for you? Any suggestions on that would be really gratefully received. I think people might be really tired with the first day of the conference. I don't know if there's, but yeah, if anybody had any thoughts after this little session, we are more than happy for you to email us, and we'd be happy to sort of take your suggestions and comments on board and sort of inform our future events accordingly. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon and joining us. Thank you,
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it's just so you know about us, what we do, what we're up to, and we'd really support you getting involved if you'd like to. Enjoy the rest of the conference, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.